Fight presents.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I'm TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and I am not alone. She's the host and producer of In Cat We Trust, plus one of the writers and hosts of Women's Wrestling Talk. Please welcome Katrina Blake.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Hey, and she is a senior writer and host of WWT. Please welcome Nickie Booshie.
The one and only, everybody. How are you guys doing today?
Amazing. And we have an amazing show like we always do. Nothing but amazing guests. And today is no exception. I'm so happy for this guest. This is her third or fourth time on the show. And every time she comes on, it's like she just hits the next level. So I am so happy. And I also know that I'm going to butcher this part because I always do every show. She's the current Impact Wrestling Knockouts World Champion and Boricua badass, Tasha Steelz. Did I get it close this time?
See, you're close. You're close.
I'm getting closer and closer every. And you know, I was practicing in the car, and I got it, and I was like, I know I'm gonna mess it up. Like, you already put it in the universe, but next time, the 4th or 5th time, we're gonna be there.
That'll be the charm.
How are you doing? Yeah, there it is. How are you doing?
I'm a champion. I'm doing great. I'm living in my moment, and I am enjoying things. I beat the legend, the future Hall of Famer, Mickie James. I beat her. That was all me. 1, 2, 3. Something Deanna couldn't do. Ha. That was me. And I became the Knockouts World Champion. How you like me now? Yes, all this flavor. Take it in. Take it in. Hello, ladies.
Damn, we started out like that. Okay. All right, Nickie.
Hello,
you can eat it off.
Well, since we're here, I just want to know, because I was there and it was very monumental. How does it feel being the first ever Knockouts to win an Ultimate X match? What does that mean for you in this moment?
It shows that I am the history maker and that I will stop at nothing to continue this flow. It started with Kiera and I winning the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions and becoming the first African-American Afro-Latinas to do that. So with me winning Hard to Kill again, I feel like Hard to Kill is my pay-per-view. I'm going to be like The Undertaker and keep that as a streak. So every Hard to Kill is my streak that I'm always winning. So nobody, people are going to come for my streak, but they're not going to win. So being the first to win the Ultimate X match, it's going to be, I'm hoping down the line, more Ultimate X matches, possibly me defending this title in the Ultimate X match. But anybody that actually wins from here on can't compare because I'm the first. So, and you'll never forget your first, of course.
And how did you prepare differently for your match at Sacrifice after your loss at No Surrender?
Well, I had to make some changes because at Sacrifice, at No Surrender, Mickie James, she didn't beat me at No Surrender. She had the help of her homegirl, the non-factor, Chelsea Green. And you know why? That's because Chelsea Green was jealous that I beat her for the umpteenth time to become #1 contender. Like this really got to her. She had to go home to Matt Cardona and his toys and his collector of belts. And she wanted one as well, but she couldn't get one. So now she's upset. She goes into No Surrender. She screws me over. Now I'm pissed. I done put Petty Steelz on the shelf. Now I had to bring her back out. I get my #1 contendership back because I done, like I said, beat Chelsea Green once again. And I did it in front of her BFF, Mickie James. And I showed the world and I showed them that I can do it all. So I feel great. Because guess what? I beat Mickie and I beat Chelsea and I'll do it again and again and again and again and again and until I'm tired.
So, does the way you talk like to us, is that how you talk inside your head?
I talk inside my head, out loud, in my heart. This is how I feel. This is how I'm going to say it. And you're going to get
I
all
need
this
you in my
flavor.
life.
Listen, I am on the Women's Wrestling Talk. You're going to get all this flavor. You want this flavor.
Yes.
You're going to get all this flavor and a little bit of petty. And a little bit of petty because I put her in a
Come on,
cage.
Sasha.
I locked her up a
Little
little
petty's
bit. You know
fine,
what I'm saying? A little bit of petty.
Oh my goodness. So besides the win, what's the biggest difference in your match at No Surrender compared to your match at Sacrifice?
I had to get in Mickie James's head a lot more. I felt like I wasn't in her head enough. You know, of course, this is Mickie James. You know what I'm saying? The woman who's the self-proclaimed queen of mind games. You know, I had to hit her with that stratisfaction real quick on Chelsea Green to let her know that I'm in your head too. Because I'm sure if you lost a few times to that move, now didn't you, Mickie? You did lose a couple times to that. So I had to get in her head. She didn't think I was going to do that. She didn't think I was going to do that. And when it shocked her, oh, she was not ready for that. So when I went to Sacrifice, okay, unfortunately, Chelsea Green got her arm broke. But that's what happens when you go against the virtuoso, the champ. You get your arm broken. So there you have it. You know, Mickie James took her eye off the ball. Why are you worried about Chelsea when you got the board equal badass that's got that target right on you? You know, so that was her fault. And I let the legend fall and I beat her. So,
Nickie, before we go, or before you go, I should say, whoever is at Impact, I just want you to know that, like, if you need a hype person for Tasha, like, I think Nickie is the one, because Nickie was there, like, yes. So I mean, I feel like if you need a hype person, Tasha, like Nickie's, Women's Wrestling Talk will loan her out to you, because I feel like that pairing is.
I'm gonna need it because I need someone to finish that line when I say, and that's on what?
Period.
Thank you, Nickie. See, there we go. You're already hired. We don't even need to ask no questions.
Now we might have some issues with that with Deonna, because I was named at the Slugfest one of the biggest Deonna Purrazzo fans of all. Yeah, I know, Tasha. We had this. Tasha, we had this talk with Chelsea before.
I gotta open the job back up. No. See, Nickie, we don't do that, Nickie. We don't do that. Deonna's not petty. Deonna doesn't have this flavor. Deonna don't have all of this. She don't have this. She doesn't. To Mickie. I beat Mickie James.
You did.
She didn't beat Mickie James. I did. This flavor, this AfroLatina, I did that. I made history. She's not a history maker. You have got to come with the winning team. Just because she has the Ring of Honor and the Triple title, you have got to come with the history maker. You have got to come where all this flavor, you got to come where the barbecue baked beans are just so right with the brown sugar on top, and the macaroni and cheese has got the burnt edges, and we doing the cha-cha electric and the Cupid shuffle at the cookout. Okay, you got to come here, boo-boo. You can't go over there because she puts raisins in the potato salad. You can't be over there with the raisins in the potato salad, all right? You got to come with this flavor. Come, see, I brought out Petty Steelz. Damn it!
Listen, you brought out Petty Steelz. So
you see what you did? You see what you did? You said you was the hugest Deonna fan, and you just Petty Steelz. Okay,
well, since you put me in a tough position, I'm gonna put you in a tough position, Tasha. Okay, give me 3 knockouts you want to face as a champion now, and is there any one of those 3 that you see as a threat to your reign moving forward?
I want a rematch with Jordynne Grace. Even though I beat her before, but I have not ever beat her as the Knockouts champion. She is a former Knockouts champion. I would love to put this title on the line against her. I would love to face Giselle Shaw. She is amazing. I've seen her work. She's great. Just for giggles. Come on, Chelsea. Come on in the ring. Come on, Chelsea. You can have a shot too. You've been begging for a shot. You could come get a shot and lose for the 110th time against Tasha Steelz. So there we go. And then, of course, my biggest threat would be Jordynne, because she is the strongest knockout in our division today. So definitely, I would pick those 3.
Whew.
What does it mean?
Y'all wasn't expecting this, huh?
I love it. Love it all. What is your, how do you feel being the first Afro-Latina Knockouts champion? Because that's like historic. So how does that feel for you?
It feels great. and I'm going to take this back to at Ring of Honor when I had an opportunity to become the first ever Afro-Latina Ring of Honor Women's Champion. And unfortunately, I came up short. So that has been just, it's been eating away at me that's something that I want to do. I want to become the first champion somewhere. You know, I want to be able to go back home and I want to be able to say that I did it first. I want my culture and my nationality and my race to be proud of me. I know they already are because I'm getting to this point, but I want to put that extra cherry on the top and say, hey, I was the first to do it. And I want other girls, guys who want to be the first as well to say, look at Tasha, she did it and she didn't give up. So I'm going to do the same thing too. So it feels so good to finally say that I am a first Afro-Latina champion and I'm the first Afro-Latina champion at Impact as the Knockouts World Champion. It just feels great. And I'm always smiling from ear to ear every time this subject comes up because I cannot stop talking about it. There will be many Afro-Latina champions in the future, but there will never compare to the very first, which is me.
There it is. So Fire and Flame is one of the greatest Impact Knockout tag teams of our time. What's the biggest takeaway teaming up with Kiera Hogan? And before you answer that, okay, go. I have another follow-up question to that one.
I would say we are the best women's tag team ever. That's on period. We are the best women's tag team ever. There was no other tag team in any company, anywhere, that has got the fire and the flavor like Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. There was no other tag team during a pandemic that can give you all that entertainment and have people talking every single week as to what they're going to do next and how they're going to entertain us next. There was no other tag team that did the things and said the things that we've said and done. There were people, I will tell you this, there were people, other talents, when we would cut our promos and we would do our backstage stuff, they would literally stop what they're doing and stand around because they are waiting to see what we're going to do and how we're going to entertain people. So there was nobody like Fire and Flavor. And unfortunately, I had to put that fire out, but it's okay. It's all right. I heard she's doing well in the realm. Kudos to Kiera Hogan. See you down the road, boo-boo. That's on period.
Well, speaking of Fire, when you did win, was there any conversation between you two? Like, I'm always a fan of a tag team that makes sense. I'm never a fan of it. Like, you see a tag team and you could obviously see that they were just put together. Like true tag teams, you could see the chemistry in the ring, outside the ring. You see them on social media, all that stuff. So after your career, you continued your career at Impact. You've been on the rise. What's your guys' conversations been like?
So when going back, winning the titles for the very first time, the great thing is that Kiera and I, we're friends. You know, we're like best friends. And so when we became a tag team in Impact, it was a no-brainer for us. We didn't have to talk about what outfits we were going to wear. We didn't have to talk about how we were going to match our gears. It was like, we're like yin and yang. We have like that twin mentality. And it's like we already knew what to show up with. We didn't have to talk about it. We didn't have to do anything. It's just that we knew just like that, just what to do and how to do things. The only thing we ever talked about was turning our passion for winning these tag team titles up 10 times more. Like, we had to do it. We had to beat anybody by any means necessary. And we did. We beat Havoc and Nevaeh and defeated them at Hard to Kill and became the tag champions. And not only we did that, we had Gail and Madison Rayne pass that torch down to us. So that meant a whole lot to us. And it means that Fire and Flavor, we had to turn up even more. You know what I'm saying? So that was the only thing we had a conversation about. But going solo and doing my thing, you know, I called her up sometimes in the realm. You know, I let Rosemary and Sue Young, they let me talk to her in the realm. You know, she was still a little mad at me a little bit, just a little bit, you know, because I took her there. But she's proud of me, you know, all jokes aside. She's very proud of me. She's very proud because she did, you know, give me that push to come to Impact. And she did give me that push to keep going when there was times that I didn't know if I was going to keep going, you know. So we helped each other out a lot over these past 2 years. And, she couldn't be more proud of me, and I am excited just to see where her career goes, because you never know. AEW, just because Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker are going for a little something, don't sleep on that fire. Don't
That
sleep
part.
on that hottest flame, because she's coming for what they said that she couldn't have. So she's coming for it.
Definitely. And before we move on to Fire and Flavor, I do want to say I am a part of the most dominating tag team in women's wrestling talk, the Salt Shakers, who are actually inspired by Fire and Flavor. So I just want to give you guys a shout out for that, because me and my tag team partner here, the EIC editor-in-chief Santana, is also a part of the Salt Shakers, and we were very influenced and inspired by you guys. But since we're on the tag team division right now, besides Savannah Evans, of course, who I love and adore as well, who else would you want to team up with and go after the Impact World Knockouts Tag Team World Championships and possibly become champ like your good friend Deanna?
There's only one answer to that. Big Swole. I have to bring Big Swole in. Come on now. Big Swole, Tasha Steelz, that Flavor. Come on now.
And you guys have a match coming up.
About it.
You guys have a match coming up for the culture, right?
For the culture, we're gonna do it for the culture, respectfully, and she wants to touch this Flavor here. I let her touch it, but she ain't gonna take it. I let her touch it, but she ain't gonna take it. But we're gonna do this for the culture, because this is something that a lot of people have been asking for a long time. And on a stage like this at GCW, for the culture, I feel like it's only right. I mean, we've definitely shared the ring before at Battle Club Pro. She took my Battle Club Pro Icons Championship, unfortunately. But I feel like this right here, this is going to be the match that's just going to set it off and have people talking for the next year for culture.
So a quick little break from wrestling. I wanted to kind of tap into like your fashion choices. I love a lot of your outside gear clothes, but also your ring gear, and a lot of your looks has made it into turnbuckle glam. So how do you, I guess, the inspiration behind your gear in the ring, but also your choices outside the ring when you're just showing all that flavor on Instagram?
I call myself the Hood Bitch, and I call myself the Culture Queen. So just combining the two. The Culture Queen, she brings out the sexy. She does the beach photo shoots and
I see those pictures.
So that's the Culture Queen, okay? And the Hood Bitch is like the rock star, the hip hop star. She likes to bring that hood out, that street, that tomboy a little bit. So I had to combine the two. I had to bring the street, but I also had to bring the sexy. So you'll see me in like the fashionable jackets, but you'll see me with the crop tops underneath, showing off a little skin. That's the Culture Queen, But you'll also see me, in the basketball jerseys with the fitted caps, and I'm always rocking the AJ1s, the sneaks. That's the Hood Bitch. So I had to combine the two, and combining the two, it wasn't hard at all. And there you go. There's your flavor.
Yes, I love that.
And then just an FYI, I don't know if you know, Nickie has a show called Turnbuckle Glam, which is on Women's Wrestling Talk. So that's what Katrina was referring to. She's on it as well. And once a month now, it's going to weekly. Yeah, you've been on there.
That's what she was saying. We featured you on Gear of the Week. We featured you on Glam Special. Yep. One of my favorite looks, if you guys can see on Instagram. Right, that was the look right there. That's the one that made it.
That was the look.
Come on, girl, Tasha, come on now.
That's the look that Mickie James supposedly said I stole from her. When did anybody see her in that? Anybody seen her in that? She
got some interesting fashions.
She did. Come on now, she ain't got no fashion. That's the problem. She wants all this flavor, and she wants to claim all this flavor and say that it's hers. She needs to go somewhere with all that. She just needs to admit how much she loves all this flavor, but she'll just beat around the bush like she normally do. But that's all right, Mickie. It's all good, because the flavor, she sees you. She definitely sees you.
Ooh, okay. Well, you said your goal. I know, right? You said your goal. This is actually one of my favorite sayings. I've been living by the saying for years. Your goal for 2022 was by any means necessary, which is a Malcolm X reference. And for y'all who don't know who he is, then you've been living under a rock and you can go and read his autobiography. It's a whole nother story. But do you think by kind of adopting that mantra, when the X match came up, that was like, it was meant for you? This was your destiny?
that was the start. That was definitely the start of it, because I felt like this will be my chance, especially departing from Kiera. We're no longer tag champions. So where do I go from here? Okay, here comes an opportunity. All right, well, I've been told no in the past. I've had doors shut in my face. I've been overlooked. I've never been looked at all. So this was just like you're going to look at me now moment, and I'm going to do what I need to do by any means necessary to make sure that you're looking at me. So yeah, that was just the start of it, and continuing on. And like I said, this was my theme of 2022, by any means necessary. We're going to keep continuing that on. Yes, I'm the Knockouts champion, but I'm not done yet. I still got a lot more to prove, and I will do it by any means necessary. Period.
There it is. Last one, Nickie. That's all you.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to know, because I've been at your shows and I see the people boo. I've been one of the people that's only been cheering you. When I first met you, I told you I got you. I held your hand and I told you I got you. How does Tasha Steelz, Petty Steelz, deals with the haters? How you deal with them? What you do?
You ain't been on Twitter?
I mean, I know, but I need you to wake these people up and tell them how you deal with them haters at them shows.
Listen. I got an alter ego. Her name is Petty Steelz, and trust me, she sits in a cage. And when I say she sits in a cage, she's worse than like being around a lion's nest. Okay, you do not want her to break out. If she breaks out, it is not my fault. Like I said, let me repeat this again. I have an alter ego. Her name is Petty Steelz. It is not Tasha Steelz talking. It's Petty Steelz. So whatever she says to you, you need to be prepared for it. If she did not send for you, do not come for her. If she did not clap for you, do not try and clap back, because it will be your worst nightmare. You should go and ask Mickie James. I mean, hello, I've been killing her in the game. I've been killing her so much. Petty Steelz is tired of killing her, so she passed it back to Tasha Steelz, and I think we're exhausted at this point, both of us.
Okay. Well, that is it. Like I said, congratulations, Tasha. I'm so proud of you. We at Women's Wrestling Talk have been following your career. This is only the beginning, and it's going to continue going up. Like I wanted to leave the last question, cut a promo, but you've been cutting promos this whole interview, so you don't even need to do that. You're good with that.
It never shuts off.
And that's a good thing, because some people can't cut a promo to save their life. And, it's nice to hear people like just ripping it, because it not only is it entertaining, it's just like, you believe every word of it. And that's a really good skill to have. So kudos on that. Kudos on the championship. And, we only in March. So I can only imagine. So
more flavor, more pettiness. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate y'all. So much. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye. Wow. She was. I don't even know
how the flavor was there.
Oh, I know she turned up a little bit on me though. She know how we do.
So before we get out of here, so shout out to Tasha for sure for joining us. If you want the backstory, like the origin story, go back to our first interview. I think we had her on like 4 years ago, right before I believe she signed to Impact. So go and check out those interviews. But I have a panel question for you guys. So Jade Cargill, champion, TBS champion. I didn't write it in the notes, so you guys might be looking like, where's the question? Didn't write it, just thought of it. Jade Cargill, she is current champion. Who do you think? We know it's her belt. Nobody's stripping her of the belt in the near future. But who do you think will take that TBS championship from Jade Cargill?
Ah, man. I'm trying to think of women on the roster, and I feel like most people know how I feel about AEW's women handling of the women on the roster. I always anytime I can tell people I'm annoyed how they do some of the women on that show. But I don't
actually forget. I actually went to the AEW website. I'm like, oh dang, I forgot she was on. Oh yeah, she's on there too. Like,
there's quite a few women on there. I mean, and maybe Amy Sakura. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I can maybe see her maybe giving Jade a little bit of an issue. Oh man, I feel like if they do better with kind of getting the women showcase more, and like AEW Dark is great, but We also, like we've all said before about like the Big Swole match that was on YouTube and not on TV. We kind of need the women on the TV rather than YouTube. Sometimes it's just the exposure. And so I don't see her losing the belt anytime soon, but I do feel like because Amy is really, really good. She's really solid. And I feel like she'll give a run for her money. And so she's probably somebody I can actually see taking it off Jade. But I feel like it will be a bit of the way she's been built. I feel like it will be a bit of a battle, but I can see it happening.
All right. Nickie?
DMD. The first.
So you think she could go for both?
Absolutely. She drops the Thunder Rosa and jumps over to Jade. They have a feud. Britt Baker. I mean, she's already a pillar. You saw me in the comments, TK, when y'all on the news. You saw how hard I go for Britt Baker. I'm gonna say it. Make her the first ever woman. Make her the first ever woman to win the AEW Women's World Championship along with the CBS Championship, and let's continue this reign. I hope, and if Britt, if you're listening to this, I pray that you continue this title. We need you. I need you. I need you to be a champ soon. So my pick is none other than the DMD herself, Dr. Britt Baker.
I mean, you ride for her because y'all know how I feel about
the fellow Tar.
You know how I feel about. So I'm just I want Thunder Rosa to win that belt. I was mad she lost. I'm mad she didn't win that match. I was like upset. So hopefully she wins and show everybody just how amazing she is and better. But I'll let it.
Yeah, that would. So I'm of two sides. That would make sense. Meaning that she drops the Thunder Rosa and then she goes over TBS. That would make sense in a lateral perspective. However, me giving other women a chance, that doesn't make sense. Because it's like now you've built up Jade. So now, Britt takes it off of Jade. Jade's going to chase Britt. That's going to be 6 months, right? So what about the other women on the roster? And, you have Thunder Rosa. She... I think her and Anna Jay, maybe Ty Conti, but you have a couple of those people, but you're not going to see the fullness of the roster. So my thing is, that would make sense. It would be good shock value, but I'm always about I want to assume that all these people who are on the roster want to get paid for doing great work and not get paid for sitting in catering.
Everyone loves Thunder Rosa and thinks she's an amazing talent. So let her give these women an opportunity. Let her take the division where people think Britt hasn't, and let them really showcase Thunder Rosa in a different light. I said this before, and I'll say it again. Thunder Rosa and AEW is not the same Thunder Rosa that people praise outside of that. When it comes to Britt Baker, when it comes to AEW, she's a pillar and one of the only women of the pillar of this company. Taking the belt off of Britt and giving it to Thunder, I don't have an issue with. I just am going to be, the jury's still out for me to see where Thunder can take the division, but also can she, or is this who we need to give the other women the opportunity and let Britt kind of be a chaser? Because that's the most interesting for me, seeing Thunder Rosa get in battle. I want Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez to get a thorough, proper feud on TV. We all know they've feuded for years on the indies and other promotions, but bring this in and make this a thing. My only problem is that if y'all wanted to give Thunder Rosa the belt, why y'all didn't give it to her at AEW Revolution? That's pointless. And talk about someone else. Talk about other women not getting a chance. She just lost to Britt Baker, but yet she's getting another opportunity. Let's wake that up.
Well, that's I know we're rewinding it for another year too. So I totally agree. But the one caveat to your argument is that it's the people behind the scenes, the people who are doing the graphics, the people who are putting together the video packages, the people who are doing the social media, all that stuff. Yes, if you follow Thunder Rosa, then you're going to know what Thunder Rosa is about. But if you're on a network, then it's up to the network to also do that pairing. And if they're not, and you can't get behind Thunder Rosa, that's not Thunder. Because if you follow Thunder Rosa's social media, she's out there. She's out there with the pictures. She's out there with the video. She does vlogs, all this other stuff. So if you're not following her like that and the network's not pairing with her, then you can't really get behind her. That's not her fault. Because you do have some wrestlers who they do very minimal social media. They just live their life. But Thunder Rosa is out there, so it's not like I think we lost Nickie because Nickie's been in the same spot for a hot second. So it's not like that's not a thing. So again, we'll see what happens. The only thing we can do is hope because I'm not paying anybody's debts. So
anytime I could try to help people ask Tony that woman question, I say like, listen, there's a lot of women on your roster, some really talented women, use them.
Right.
Then I get people like Britt Baker, and I mean, I have my issues because again, I feel like there are better women and that wrestle better personally, and so I know her fans get a little offended, but it's like,
no, she's well deserving. She's done so much, like not taking any away
on the mic, I guess. But as far as her wrestling in ring, I will always argue until I see it really change. I'm gonna probably be like, I mean, did you really need to go over this person? Probably not, but I guess. So I let it. She's champion, so let it play. But there's too many women on the roster today too. There's too many women on the roster for that. For me, it's like you let them get some chance, and it shouldn't only be AEW Dark. That's the issue. It's like AEW Dark.
Like one thing that they could do is, they have enough women where they can do, even if it's like monthly, a women's show. Like I would take that where you're highlighting the women or you're doing vignettes or something. I would take that too. But, here we are.
That question, I know Ella asked that question at the media call, not the last one, the one from last year.
I think December, late December.
Well, the whole thing, I'm like, dude, you think people, I mean, if Empowerr didn't improve anything, people will watch women wrestling. Women wrestling fans will watch an all-women pay-per-view. We will fight for our all-women's pay-per-view until make it happen. I feel like that's money kind of there on the table waiting. Make it happen. Like he's doing all this other stuff. Fine, great. Now you can also do this women's pay-per-view. You have time to sign, get to working out this pay-per-view. I feel like you got time to do it. You're doing everything else, right? So you can make that happen. Like get your hands all in every jar. Get it happening. So
yes, I agree. But speaking for somebody who has their hands in many jars, and I don't know, obviously I don't know what it takes to run a wrestling promotion, especially something on the scale of AEW. So for all the, if you guys were to put together all my grievances with AEW, I also understand as a business person, it's like you have a vision and you hope for something, but to actually get it to get going and moving, it takes a little bit of time, especially if you don't necessarily have the right people behind backstage. So if you don't have the right people advocating for the women who can make great storylines, who can do those packages, then, your vision versus what happens is two different things. So Nickie, there you are. You're perfect for just closing it out. We about to wrap it up. It's time to go. Damn. Well, with that being said, Katrina, where can everybody find you?
I am on everywhere pretty much in Cat We Trust. I just did this TikTok for the WWE digital correspondent, so fingers crossed. I mean, I've been seeing it actually got a lot of views. I was very surprised. And so, if we get another black woman up there in WWE just doing some correspondent work, let's fingers crossed. Like, listen, I'm gonna ride hard for Women Wrestling Talk if I make it. So let's.
And then also said, I want to tell you because y'all know I always say stuff that's behind the scenes that's here. You can put that TikTok on our TikTok too if you already have it. So.
Oh, okay, great. Cool. Listen, I was like really nervous doing it, and so I was like, let me get this. And then our truth thing was actually really funny, and so it was like hard not to laugh while I was recording. But I'm hoping that WWE sees it and just have a sister fly out to Dallas. I'm ready. I might have a little moment if it's Roman Reigns because that's Roman Reigns, and I might have to get myself together. But outside of him, I feel like I'll be fine. So, but I'm pretty much literally on like every social media platform you could probably find me on, except for OnlyFans. I feel like I have to say that after the last panel, after the weird comments from that panel. I am not on OnlyFans, so I'm everywhere but OnlyFans. You can find me anywhere.
There it is. And Miss Nickie Booshie, where can everybody find you?
Am I back?
Yes, you are back.
Make this really quick. We're on the road to WrestleMania. If you do not like Charlotte Flair, don't come to my Twitter, okay? At Nickie Booshie on Instagram, on Twitter, senior writer here, host here. We're gearing up for WrestleCon, and I'm going to say this very clearly. If you guys are not following us, you're going to miss out on some very exclusive content starting next week. We have the exclusive on the triple threat match between Deonna Purrazzo and Lady Frost and Giselle Shaw next week that will be dropping on Thursday. We have exclusive footage.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Exactly. We have exclusive footage for next week and going up until WrestleCon. We also are still doing Women's History Month. We're doing all of the amazing articles. Shout out to the amazing team that we've been working with. Katrina's on that team as well. We have some amazing articles that have been put out. One of our writers, Ryan, just put out the top 5 for Natty. Amazing work with that. And we also are going to do a countdown to some of our favorite WrestleMania matches from our women of all the years. So be sure to check that out. But WrestleCon is like, it's coming, you guys. So if you guys see any of us there, please come, speak, do whatever. But I will be holding it down per usual on Twitter and Instagram. So come check me out there. And of course, I'm always here on Women's Wrestling Talk doing something. So
there it is. Yeah, definitely for sure. Go to WWE Talk Pod to go and check out all those articles. All the shows are up there as well. You can follow all our social media, including TikTok at WWE Talk Pod, across the board. I guess not on OnlyFans. I don't know who would. I mean, we might have an OnlyFans account. I don't know about it. But you can check all that out. And yeah, we are celebrating Women's History Month, so just definitely read those articles. And as well, if you didn't, you can rewind to Black History Month. We have articles that drop every day of the month, a little bit shorter to read. Check those out as well. Other than that, my name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything. Thank you guys so much for rocking with the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.